it's almost time to put the bow on the string. So now we need to learn a few things. Make sure we remember the parts of the bow. This is the screw. This is something that we turn to tighten and loosen the bow hair, which we're about to learn. This is the frog of the bow. This metal piece right here is, I call it the silver clip. It's also the ferrule. This is the grip. This is the wrapping, the winding, all protecting the stick so that our hand oils don't rub away the varnish and over time even wear away the stick. This is the hair. We never touch the hair. We try to keep our skin away from the hair because the oils in our skin will get on the hair and make the hair slippery so that the rosin won't stay on it and we can't play. It won't make a sound. This is the tip of the bow, or the point. It is the weakest part of the bow. We want to be very careful. Students sometimes like to pretend like it's a sword and point it and tap it on things. Don't let it touch anything. So we can touch the stick, we can touch the grip, we can touch the frog. We do not want to touch the hair. Now we're getting ready to rosin the bow before we put it on the string. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that the bow hair is the right tension. We take put your hand down here on the screw, and we're going to turn it. If it's facing you, turn it away from you, turn it to the right. We want to make it tighter. So while you're turning, you're gonna watch your bow hair. When you're starting out, your bow hair should be really loose. This is the way it's been when we've had the bow put away. So there's very little space between the hair and the stick, and it's very floppy. We come to the screw, we start tightening, and I'm turning, and I'm turning, and I turn, and then I check. It's getting a little tighter, but there's still space. I want to get this right in the middle so it's about as wide as my pinky. So I'm going to turn some more, and I'm looking, and that's a good distance. That's perfect. The other thing we want to make sure is that the middle of the bow is not as wide as the frog or the tip. So you see at the frog, there's that much space. As I come in towards the middle, you'll see that it's not quite as expanded from each other. The middle should dip down a little bit, and then as I go towards the tip, it gets a little bit wider again. That's what we want. If I tighten too much, it'll look like this in the middle, and that's not good. The tip, you can see that there's no dip coming down. That's not good for the hair of the bow. So you don't want to go that far. Just so you can stick your finger in the middle. Now, putting on the rosin. Rosin comes in many forms. Many of you will have rosin that's in a box like this. When you pull the rosin out, you want to make sure, just like you do with the bow, that you don't actually touch the rosin. Most rosin has either a cloth or a piece of wood around it. That's for your hands. So you hold it by the cloth, or in this case, it's a little wooden box. I'm going to hold it in this box. And then I'm going to take my tightened bow hair. I'm going to start here at the frog. You want to be very gentle with this rosin. If you knock it with your ferrule, you can chip it and make it crumble. If you drop it, it can chip and crumble. It can break like glass. So you want to be very gentle with this. I'm going to take my hair. I'm going to lay my hair flat on the rosin, and I'm going to lean in a little bit. I'm going to put some weight into it, because what I want to do is I want to rub and get some rosin on your bow. Now, if your rosin is really, really primed and your bow has hair on it before, you don't have to rosin as much. This is brand new bow hair, so I am going back and forth in one spot, and I'm pushing, I'm going back and forth, and then I come down a couple of inches, and I go back and forth, and back and forth. And then I come down a few more inches, and I go back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth, and I go back a little more. And you can see I'm pushing in. I'm moving the bow and holding the rosin still. Some people like to move the rosin and hold the bow still. Like to go up and down. What you want to do is rosin your bow enough that when you take the hair, you can flick it. Let's see if I can get, and you can see dust come off. Just a little bit of dust go in the air. So you're looking for that. Then your bow is ready to play. When you're finished using your bow, when you have finished practicing, it is super important to remember to loosen the hair again. We don't ever want to put our bow away with the bow hair tight. It's bad for the bow. It can warp the bow. Sometimes the hair pops out. So we go back to the screw and we loosen it. We turn it towards us and we loosen until that hair in the middle, you can see that it's no longer flat and it's very, very loose and it's very close to the stick. Now, you can go so far, you can loosen so far that the whole thing comes apart. That's not advisable. So stop when it's loose and before the screw comes entirely out of the stick.